A very good morning to you guys. Welcome to Asake Online. This is Fix My City. My name is Brighton Ncube. This show is to look at service delivery issues around Bulawayo. I've been crisscrossing the city, talking to different councillors about different challenges facing by people from their wards. And today on the show, I'm joined by Ward 3 Councillor, that's Mxolisi Mahlangu, to unpack and hear from him what's happening there in his ward, in Ward 3. Hope you guys enjoy the show and do follow us on all platforms that are there to give you all the breaking news stories at sight. Councillor, welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And good morning.
Let's reflect 1 year into office. You came into office as a councillor 1 year now. Last 3 months ago, you turned 1 year in office. How has been the journey so far like?
We've taken the job on our feet. It's not been easy. We have got a lot of challenges. As you would know, we are in a country where we are being affected by a lot of economic ills, and nearly all the projects that we want to do have no funding. So sometimes we have to rely on community group funding to do certain activities in the ward and in the communities. We have certain sections where the villagers, residents have come together, pull money and do street lighting as a means of increasing visibility and safety. But again, it's not enough. The challenges are huge. My ward is so big in terms of geography, and the challenge is there in terms of the infrastructure, road, in terms of accessibility to certain places. It's quite huge. Yeah.
You touched on your ward being one of the biggest wards and so on, and I've been crisscrossing in other areas. Other councillors are saying the same thing. Their wards are big, right? Maybe give us a map or an overview of the boundaries of your ward.
Geographically, my ward starts from Ukwanda Road. As you are going towards Kwanda, the left side of Kwanda Road, which covers Nast, School of Mine, Kilani, Kumalo, Parklands, New and Old. You also have Mahachula South, Mahachula North, Woodville North, Woodville South. You have Wills Grove, Queen's Park East, Romney Park, Mhlangen. Yeah, so in terms of geography, it's quite huge. It's quite huge, and what makes it even worse is that the part of the ward is peri-urban. So there's a setup where you have plots and largely not being utilized because of the challenges of water and other economic ills.
As I compare your ward to other wards in Bulawayo, yours is a peri-urban site, right? What are some of the issues that are affecting people from areas where there's a peri-urban? There are plots there, there are people doing farming there. What's the kind of issue that are affecting people there when it comes to issues and problems faced by people?
Peri-urban challenges in the plots. One is the issue of rates, because they are sitting on huge tracts of land. Their rates are high, and they are unable to meet that obligation at the council. While again, we have that challenge, we don't have water, so people can't even utilize the land for farming activities to augment their high rates. The other challenge is there is a lot of vandalism. We have people accessing the ward from the backside of the airport and Montgomery, who also come in and vandalize the areas. There are a lot of sand poaching around the end of Ward 3, which is Woodville North. A lot of illegal activities, and which also contribute in the dilapidation of the infrastructure like roads. We have trucks that come from areas like McDonald's and the other Chinese companies that make bricks. They run away from the main road trying to evade police. They use the back roads, and they use Woodville and Mahachula. So in the process, those heavy trucks are destroying our infrastructure, and we have no means to control that flow of traffic that uses undesignated places to access their areas.
In the past years, Councillor, there's been this call for prepared water meters in Bulawayo. and residents have rejected this call for the many years ago. People are saying, no, we can't have, water is a right, we can't have prepaid water meters. But also, from the full council meetings, I saw you speaking about the issue of, say, your ward. People are saying, no, they want these prepared water meters. Speak to us more about that. Are people saying they want these prepared water meters in Woodville?
Absolutely. There is a section of the group in my ward that requires those water meters. Remember, when you make a decision to say people want this or they don't want this, it can't be the whole community. There is a certain sizable sample that is scientifically acceptable to say if this number says yes or this number says no, and then you go with that and it becomes the popular decision for the ward. And in this instance, given the number of the people that have come forward and say they prefer water meters, absolutely the ward requires water meters. And among the challenges why they also want water meters, Woodville, Cllr, and partly Khumalo, the infrastructure is the water infrastructure is dilapidated. Half the time water doesn't get there, but these people are receiving bills, huge bills. You have water once or twice a week, but because of our shambolic billing system, you have people receiving huge bills. And most of the water is non-revenue water that gets lost somewhere in the system or that gets lost within the yard. So whichever way, people are losing out money, being charged of high bills of the water they've not used. So people are saying, let's eat what we kill. We are going to buy the water that we can afford to buy, and at least we'll have all the water. ZESA is doing the same thing. No one has gone without lights because they have not been able to buy ZESA. They go and buy that which they can afford to buy. And they light their houses and life goes on. So it can't be true. And there's not been any research to say this is exactly the position of the whole city of Bulawayo. It's mostly activists who wanted to sing for their money from the donors that go and activate a few residents and come and saying they don't want water meters. But water meters is going to be the panacea going forward to address the issues of poor billing, to address the issues of eating what you kill. And besides, you must know that the city council has got an amount of water that every resident accesses for free. So over and above that, people would still access that water. So it's not true that people would go without water because you've put water meters. We actually get billed for what you have used. People will just buy their water and you use that which you have bought. And when it's running out, you go again and top up.
You speak of these shambolic bills that are coming from the council. Sometimes they do estimations, at times they project, suppose so they're going to maybe estimate the water bills. What are you doing as councillors in terms of addressing those issues of shambolic water bills?
You see, the issue of high water bills have a lot of snowballing effects in the livelihood of residents. Among them, if your estimated bill was, if at the beginning of your estimation, they'd taken a higher bill, it means the average for the 3 months would be high. And therefore, it means you are being charged wrongly. There are gains as well. If it happens that it was at a time when those 3 months your bill was low or very low, you stand to benefit. So the estimates issue is two-pronged. You can either benefit or city council benefits. You can either lose or city council loses. So it's not a one straight answer. It depends on, at a point when the estimation started, how high was the bill for those 3 months that they had looked into before they could do the estimation. Again, certain properties are not accessible. It forces people to estimate. But again, we have said, if we have also an issue of staffing. We don't have adequate people to do e-billing and the house-to-house meter reading from residents. And what that requires is a massive recruitment of people. And what does that do? It speaks to the city council purse, which is already empty. So we need to come up with means, modern means within which we can be able to drive past and read those meters. And the only way to do that is to install water meters, modern ones, where you can have one person driving past and reading all the water meters. So these are the modern ways which we should be inventing as Bulawayo. In as much as we want to be activists and say we care for the residents, but some of the issues that we do as councillors and these activists is retrogressive. Honestly, we cannot be saying, let's push for more boreholes. Let's push for old means of collecting data from the residents when clearly it's not working. We can't do that.
I'm sure you've been doing feedback meetings, you know, what 3, right? What are people saying there in terms of 1 year so far in office? What are problems facing people there besides water there? What are key problems affecting people there in Ward 3?
The biggest issue of water of my ward, of course, is the water. On my feedback meetings, we have tried to engage on means to ensure that we have adequate water. And among the issues that we have tried to address is to make sure that in the old suburbs like Woodville, where we used to have our own water facilities or own water tanks being distributed, I've had an engagement with the engineers and city council in trying to see how best we can resuscitate those old water storage facilities, if they could be repaired. There is a talk between ourselves and the other NGO which is willing to assist to try and refurbish those storage facilities so that when city council pumps water, at least water can be pumped into those reservoirs, and then the reservoirs can distribute. They are quite big. They can supply the whole of Woodville, Mahlangu, and the other areas surrounding that place. So that could be an answer that will address the issue of water challenges, because if it were to be filled up and full, it could still supply all the other low-lying areas. Because we also have an issue of pressure. Water gets there but with no pressure. Because of the old infrastructure we have, if pressure is ramped up, pipes burst, you see. So the challenges are huge. We have the road infrastructure challenges. Luckily though, in the current budget, we have a sizable amount that is allocated to ensuring that Ward 3, which has been ignored for a number of years, gets funding to ensure the roads are done. We had come into a partnership between City Council and Cllr because he's the biggest land developer in that area, remember. So we had sat down and said we are going to do the roads jointly so that he can access his place. And also he's contributing to that because he's got huge trucks also that are traversing the area servicing his land that is developing. So, but because of financial challenges, as we all know, he has said now he is being challenged financially, so he has scaled down the help that he has been doing in our joint infrastructure development. So it has slowed progress. But nonetheless, City Council is continuing with the little resources it has to try and ensure that the infrastructure is improved.
Now let's focus on the issue of lighting. I know in the other words, people have been complaining about the issue of ZESA removing and putting prepared meters there. How is lighting in your ward in terms of issues of combating crime? What are you doing to combat crime in your ward 3?
We have gone on to a drive where we have said the ward retention fund that we have is going to be distributed amongst all the communities in Ward 3 to ensure that there is improved lighting as a means of showing visibility and combating crime. But however, it's not enough. We have certain areas also where the residents have come together and adopted roads in their houses. We did a project in Parklands where residents adopted a road and then they put street lights on the road. It has assisted a lot in terms of improving lighting at night. As we speak now, there's a section in Queen's Park which is being spearheaded, a project being spearheaded by one young man, Cllr boy. People are contributing. They have put lights in that section of the community and it's ongoing. Woodville, there are street lights. They are old, although the quality is not good, but there is reasonable lighting. So the whole community is adopting that. We are going to be rolling out the same project in Mahachula. We have got a certain individual in the diaspora. I would not mention his name because I've not engaged with him in terms of publicity. He has opted to come forward and assist in the street lighting in Mahachula. So it's a project that we're working on. I've just been speaking to him yesterday. We are working on the processes on how to roll out that. But the water retention fund in Mahachula is not going to go into the street lighting issue. We have a challenge of street naming in Mahachula, which is giving challenges even when there are issues of fire for the fire ambulances and stuff. So we've said the road retention portion of Mahachula is going to go towards street naming.
What do you mean by street naming? What's happening there in terms of street naming?
The Mahachula streets have no names.
No signage?
The signages, you don't even know where to start in giving people directions. So that project has been done. The names have been done. I just requested from the roads engineer the total amount of the money that is required to do to put the signages on the roads. He's just given me the amount. So we are looking at seeing that City Council contributes towards part of the amount, and then we use the water retention fund as well to put up those names. It was names that we looked into the background of Mahachula. Who is Mahachula? How did it come about? So which names can then come that befit the area? So yeah, we are working on that. Very soon we'll be putting up those signages to ensure that it's easy to give directions to the community.
Council have been vocal around the issue of enforcement of bylaws in Bulawayo. I've been following your council meetings. I've been speaking about enforcement of bylaws. You say we have short staff, municipal police, but council recruited earlier on municipal police. But however, there's still no enforcement. People are selling things on the streets. People are cooking things or using gas stove and so on. Speak to us more about where is the lack of will, where are we missing in terms of enforcement of these bylaws at the council?
Enforcement in Bulawayo is a big challenge. It is also a political issue. There's been engagement, several engagements between the local resident minister, the town clerk, the mayor, and the JOC at government level to ensure that they assist in terms of enforcement. You see, Kumbis are picking up people from all over town, running away from designated facilities. But I think in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we are going to see change. The security that you're talking about that was being recruited is undergoing training. They couldn't just be recruited and be thrown at the deep end. So they are being trained. Very soon the induction will be over, and then they will be deployed to all corners of the city. We are going to ensure that there is compliance. This thing of people cooking on pavements, this thing of buses parking all over town, this thing of residents selling wherever they want and even blocking pavements and blocking businesses that are paying rent, is going to be a thing of the past. Remember, these people are not, City Council is not benefiting in any way. They are not paying rent, and most of them are people coming from outside Bulawayo. They come here overnight, they bring in their wares, they sell, they don't even use bins, they litter everywhere, and the City Council is not collecting any revenue. Meanwhile, they are selling in front of the shops that are paying rates and rents to City Council. We cannot allow a city to continue messing around town with reckless abandon without any controls. Very soon you see change. And we are serious about the issue of enforcement, because it is the only thing that will clean the city. It is the only thing that will give investors confidence. As it stands now, who would want to come and invest in a city where people does things with reckless abandon without any controls whatsoever? When you need investment, these are the first things that you need to look into and address. And indeed, we are going to do that as we try and bring investment into the city.
Now let's focus now more on refuse collection. How is the refuse collection in your ward? I know the mayor has been doing the cleanup campaigns and so on. How is the refuse collection in your ward? Are people adhering to the cleanup campaigns? Are they even throwing litter where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, the issue of refuse collection has way improved. We continue to engage in the community as we are speaking. Just this week, I did throw messages to the whole group of Ward 3 that let's organize a cleaning program again for this week. But the challenge we have is we have inadequate bins. We need people to come forward and donate bins, those that can. To come forward and assist us, donate bins. We also want to call upon the business communities in our ward to come forward with bigger bins that would allow people not to throw litter all over the place. We also have a very bad culture. I don't know what has gotten into the people of Bulawayo. People now don't care about cleanliness. We have this business of throwing pampers all over. People even take the pampers and put them right by the shops. You'd find these ladies that are selling vegetables and wares in front of the shops, they change the pampers from their kids. They roll them and stick them on the backla bars of the windows of the shops. This is how people have become so irresponsible when it comes to littering. Even in instances where there are bins, people just recklessly throw litter everywhere. So it is a culture, it is the mindset that we need to try and build within our communities to say, let's practice cleanliness, because it also breeds diseases. As we speak now, we've seen on newspapers and in the social media where we are saying there's already been 2 cases of monkeypox in Zimbabwe. Monkeypox, remember, also is related to cleanliness. So if we are not going to practice cleanliness, clearly we are going to exacerbate the situation. So yeah, we need to change our minds, and City Council will need to come up with awareness programs and the stricter means of ensuring that those that throw litter around are brought to book.
Councilor, you sit in various committees, one of them being key issue committee there that focuses on different issues. Speak to us about your role there in those committees. How has been the journey so far? So far 1 year, how has been the journey so far sitting in these committees and the council committees?
It's been eye-opening. Like I'm telling you, we've been learning on our feet. We've made so much mistakes, we've learned more, and we continue to learn. But what I like most in the committees is the zeal, the agility, and the energy that the councillors expose in trying to ensure that Bulawayo becomes the sunshine and the beautiful city that it was. It has not happened without any challenges. There are certain disagreements within committees on how to engage things. There's been heated debates on the issue of vendors. Some feel people are earning a livelihood from vending and they must be let to vend without controls. Some, including myself, feel you can't have an animal farm situation in the city. We need to ensure that we remove these people. Of course, we build them reputable and designated places, which will be floor tiled, have the roof over their head to ensure that even during the rainy season, they can sell in dignified places. But there's got to be order. There's got to be order to ensure that this is a city that is being led by people who know what they want to achieve. Yeah, so yes, the challenges have been there, but it's been exciting. We're learning. We're also learning from what you guys from the media are saying. We pick up from that, what the Chronicle guys say, what the news they say. We try and pick up what we think is positive and can build us as a city. But at the end of the day, we all have to move together. The councillors, the residents, you guys from the media, and everyone, the stakeholders. We need to move together and advise ourselves. And we need to shy away from negative criticism, where you are only hell-bent of criticizing without bringing solutions. Come up with solutions also as residents. Councilor should be doing this. Councilor should be doing this. I'm glad in my ward they are very active and willing residents who are always ready to handhold and give advice where they feel it's appropriate. Yeah.
Focusing more again on the ward, how many schools are there in the ward? I know people complain about the capacity of schools sometimes vis-a-vis the population. How many schools are there in the ward, primary or high schools?
In my ward, we don't have a government secondary school, none. We are trying to work together as the community. We have identified land. Government has come in, the MP has also come in to try and mobilize resources for building a secondary school in Mahachula, which we think is the center of Ward 3. Plans are in place to do that. We have in Woodville one primary school. We've got another primary school in Mahachula, which is being run by City Council. We have a primary school again, Elite, which is a private school. We've got another private high school also in Mahachula, but they are not adequate. And we're also saying private schools play a good role in augmenting what government and city council do. But we also need a government school. Remember, education is a right in the world and in the constitution of Zimbabwe. So when you have only private high schools operating in a ward, it means access to education is discriminatory. We need to have government secondary schools that are going to offer reasonable and fair tuition, given also the economic situation we are facing in the country. So yeah, we need more government schools to ensure we augment what is already existing. And we are grateful for the private schools that are there because they are already offering the services and covering the gap that the government is supposed to have covered in terms of providing more schools.
Councillor, recently there was a tour of Bulawayo dams. This tour was done by councillors, council staff as well, whereby you guys were touring these dams to see the capacity. Where is it? How much it doesn't dam it? Give us a picture of the state of our dams in Bulawayo. Do you still have water? I saw last time people saying there's nothing in Bulawayo. Do you still have water in our dams?
We have water in varying capacities from our dams, and as you all are aware, though I would not go into specifics, but we have decommissioned certain dams because the water is too low and it cannot be used. So the water situation in Bulawayo is bad. This is why we have even gone further into trying to ration more so that at least we can try and sparingly distribute water to a point where we have enough water in the event it rains. But if it doesn't rain, by mid next year, we'll have a serious challenge with water. So we need to ensure that we open new sources of water. I'm glad that there is interest from government now. They seem to be gaining traction. There's this Popoma dam that is going to, the tender was given to Cllr. We are still waiting for a cabinet authority. We're here for Cllr to begin building the dam, which he says is going to take us 2 years. To me, it becomes one of the quick fixes in terms of ensuring that Bulawayo has water. But we need to explore other areas, again, other means of getting water. We have boreholes in Nyamandlovu, which we have made a clarion call to government to say, please, we need security there because of the vandalism that obtains around those boreholes. We need to repair those boreholes. And if need be, we even drill more boreholes so that we can increase capacity. We pump more water into the mainstream water distribution channels of the city. So yeah, we need water. We were also looking into exploring into the issue of tapping more into the underground water. Now we have technology that can drill up to about 1,000 kilometers down. If we have the money, we have companies in Botswana that specializes in that. So if we get funding, we can bring those guys as well, try and get enough water through tapping underground water to ensure that we don't only rely on rains. As we can see, climate change is a reality which we cannot run away from. So we need to be innovative enough as well to say we can't wait for the seasonal rainwater. We need to begin to explore these means so that at least we can be forward thinking and protect our residents from continuously crying about water.
Councilor, lastly, as we wrap up our show this morning, I remember last year when I was interviewing during the elections campaigns, we spoke about the issue of revenue collection for the city. We are a huge proponent of saying let's raise money through other means for the city to develop and go forward. We've been trying to say we don't have money as the city of Bulawayo. Speak to us more about the revenue streams, revenue creation. What is the council working on now, besides the issue of rentals and bills and so on, to create revenue for the city?
Revenue creation is a serious challenge in this city, and what makes it even worse is that the economy is not functioning enough. Also, this cocktail of currencies that come and go continue to plummet, and they're taking businesses backwards, and it makes it difficult for them to support businesses. But again, government also with its statutory bodies like Pras and the other, they inhibit progress in terms of creating new revenue streams for the city. I'll tell you one thing. We had said as councillors, because we are raising so much X amount of money from the collection on the roads, from the parkings and TTI, let's ring-fence that money and buy our own patching plant, where we are going to say, because we've got so many mines around here that do quarry. We were thinking that, I personally said as the business chairperson, let's reserve 1 or 2 mines where we are going to partner with the businesses and mine the quarry, and then bring our patching plant that would have brought through the system to ensure that at least we put it at one of the mines, so that we begin to do our own mortar and do our roads. And what does government say? They are delaying giving us authority through these 2 days process, and they are making it so difficult. Their procurement issue, they're taking too long to decide on the way forward. And in the process, we are losing money because we are not doing anything. If we were to get our own patching plant and collect revenue ourselves, we were going to make more money. We're going to sell Itara to Plumtree. We're going to sell it to Gwanda. We're going to sell it to Beitbridge. We're going to sell it to Masvingo, to the neighboring countries, cities. And meanwhile, we'll be fixing our own roads. And what would that do? We'll be creating a lot of revenue for our people. And what would then the snowballing impact of that would be? We'll be able to then say to the residents, we're making so much money. So let's look into the issue of rates. Maybe let's reduce rates. And maybe we start by saying everyone over 55 pays so much. Or we just say, instead of charging people $50, $60 a month when they are not able to pay that, why don't we say everyone pays $40? And we see how much money we collect. People will be motivated to come forward and say, okay, I'm getting the $20 there, the $30 there. Let me sacrifice and pay $40 to city council, because we would have received, we would have reduced the money. And the residents would say, will really see that they're dealing with people who have them at heart. You see, but also when we have these statutory instruments and bodies that inhibit our planning, it becomes difficult to plan going forward. Yeah.
Councilor, thanks so much for your time, for joining us today on site.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I've been watching Asake Online, and this is Fix My City. I've been in conversation with Councilor Mxolisi Mahlangu, coming from Ward 3, speaking about different issues affecting Ward 3, the issue of roads, the issue of water, and saying they want prepared water meters there to come to Ward 3. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Please do pass your feedback, your comments via DM or via the comment section there. For myself, Brighton Ncube, it's bye for now.